political group that goes by the name Akon Phenomenal Ladies for Moino at the Deputy Governor's Lodge Friday in Uyo. Utri Mokon completes the story.
Senator Yaganyi will receive in our residence is gratitude to the women across the 31 local government areas for their sacrifices during the last general elections for the emergence of Governor Moino. Senator Yaganyi also advised the women to avail themselves of the various skills acquisition programs in the state in order to build their capacities for leadership. She described as gender-friendly and supporter of the women folk. Senator Yaganyi said the governor, in his race agenda, has instituted programs on entrepreneurship, which she advised the women to take advantage of. She announced that the governor was building what she described as 400 compassionate homes for widows in all the wards of the 31 local government areas, noting that 100 of the houses were ready for handing over to the beneficiaries.
The governor of Akwa Ibom State has not treated the women badly, starting from me, the way he carries me along in the governance. It's not just appointments that the governor will do to touch the lives of all the women. But this government can touch you, can help you, can support you in other ways. Entrepreneurship. Governor speaks about it every day.
The President General of Akon Phenomenal Women for Umaina, Mrs. Abigail Ekanem, appreciated the Deputy Governor for the warm reception accorded them and congratulated the Deputy Governor on her emergence as one of the 50 most outstanding women in leadership in the country. Mrs. Ekanem said Senator Yaganyi's sterling qualities of humility, hard work, and respect have endeared her to so many women who look up to her as their mentor. She noted that Senator Yaganyi has changed narrative of women, stressing that leadership style has inspired others to set the pace for others to follow. She reaffirmed the group's support to the current administration and appealed for more support from the government.
Your loyalty to our dear governor and wealth of experience have contributed to the stability of our state. Phenomenal 8 years of good governance.
Goodwill messages were received from wife of the secretary to the state government, Dr. Nemesaduwa, among others. High point of the event was the presentation of gift items and souvenir by the group to the deputy governor. AKBC News.
A stakeholders meeting on a bill for a law to amend the Akwa Ibom State Independent Electoral Commission Law Cap 69 Laws of Akwa Ibom State 2022 is scheduled to hold at the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly April 16. Of the House Committee on Local Governments and Chieftaincy Affairs, a statement signed by the chairman of the committee, Elder Mfonidon, says the meeting will hold at the Old Chapel of the Assembly at 10 a.m. It invites and other invited guests to be punctual as the meeting will be declared open by Speaker Udeme Otong. Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has praised Governor Moino for re-awarding the contract for the construction of the Nsadatai Okobo Orong Road project. The commendation was contained in a matter of urgent public importance raised by the Chief Whip of the Assembly, Chief Efiel Johnson, at its last sitting. Legislative Affairs reporter Uyukuswa completes the story.
Chief Chief Johnson, whose matter was received for deliberation through a motion by the State Constituency Representative, Mr. Pius Bassi, and seconded by the Oromoko State Constituency Representative, Mrs. Kenim Onofio, expressed the hope that more than 8 years of suffering by commuters would soon end.
Mr. Speaker, remember about a month ago, before year, I raised a motion on the past situation of the National Highway. And yesterday, the government graciously awarded the contract of National Airport to Ottawa. And people of all are asking Mr. Speaker to say thank you, because the government stood there yesterday and awarded the contract to NSEC. And the people of all are comprised of the 5 government are extremely very, very happy. So, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of all persons, people want to say thank you very much.
The Deputy House Leader, Mr. Tobon Bob, and the Ikorabasi Eastern Obono State Constituency Representative, Mrs. Selina Ukbatu, contributed to the matter before the Speaker ruled on the issue.
I want to thank the member representing Chief People of the House for being honest and expressing a deep and great sense of gratitude to my constituents, the governor of our state, for the great job he's doing so far, especially in the area of road construction. Mr. Speaker, he forgot to mention that His Excellency the Governor terminated the existing contract on that particular road.
I'm glad to take this afternoon to lay my voice on this very important thank you speech to the Right Honourable Speaker, to say that I am one of those people who are so happy to hear that today that His Excellency the Governor of Akwa State, our leader, has re-awarded the contracts of Oro, Saratai, Okobo, and the road to the entire Oro.
I think I will move and second that this House send a letter to Excellency thanking for what they have done on the people of Oral Nation and Bible State at large. Those in favor said aye. Those against said the ayes are
Uyoko Uswa, AKBC News.
Meanwhile, the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has called on the state government to checkmate the activities of scavengers to forestall further destruction of strategic infrastructure. They follow the motion for an indefinite ban. Elder Sunday Johnny, who represents Una State constituency. Again, Uyokoswa reports.
The House Leader in his motion explained the menace of scavenging and the attendant consequences and risk to the state, and advocated an indefinite ban.
Moreover, some of these critical investments put together by the government to better the education in the state has suffered a setback from criminal elements among the scavengers. Also, however, the vandalization of school properties and infrastructure in our state is the direct attempt to jeopardize government effort in developing education in our state. On this, this motion therefore prays that this House to resolve as follows. 1. Scavengers in Akwa Ibom State must, as a matter of urgency, be bound until further notice.
The motion was massively supported by his colleagues, with most of them highlighting security concerns.
I don't know why in every street of Uyo you see people buying bars. They can go to your house and tell your generator in your assets and put in the bar and go away. Why our security agencies don't live up to expectation to arrest most of these convicts? And
anything where I come from. Over 20 solar power hubs have been vandalized so far, and then primary healthcare centers and also the rural water schemes. Within the suspense of it, and so that over 20 activities have been provided by the previous government and the World Bank have also been vandalized. The death of my brother Mrs. Abu have been felt and was brought by the whites. That was the church in so the first environment, I will have to do something about it. So let me thank the layout for bringing of this motion and the house for bringing on this motion.
Speaker Udeme Otong directed the clerk of the House to communicate its resolution on the motion to the state governor for immediate implementation. Uyoko Swa, AKBC News.
Still to come, a rice scorecard ministers highlights achievement of Governor Eno. 10 years after 92 Chibok girls unaccounted for. This and more shortly.
This is our home, where we all belong. Is where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. It's all man, you know. We go stand together, we go make them better. Be the brothers and sisters, no matter where we day. It's all man, you know. No matter where we day, we are one. Let's live together in peace and
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching AKBC 45 News. Ogun State government has kicked off its Arise scorecard. The maiden program is anchored on the theme Food Sufficiency and Security, the Interventionist and Sustainability Strategy of Governor Umoino. The program has the Commissioner for Information, Comrade Inememe Bong, as host, with the Commissioner for Agriculture and Rural Development, that of Economic Development, Mr. MM Bob, and the Chairman Bulk Purchasing Agency, Mr. Dan Akpan, as panelists. Comrade Inememe Bong explained that the Arise scorecard is aimed at highlighting government's achievements in the last 10 years. He maintained that every policy of government comes with the grassroots because the governor is passionate about rural development. The commissioner also asserted that the vision of government is not just to achieve food sufficiency, but to be able to export farm produce and other items from the state. The Commissioner for Economic Development, Mr. Membob, says the state government is passionate about the stimulation of economic lives in the rural areas. Speaking at the maiden edition of the Arise scorecard, Mr. Bob opined that one of the initiatives to stimulate the economy was the validation of state social register. The Commissioner noted that the social register was well structured with 2.3 million registered people, stating that the number of on the register would be used for various future interventions in the state. According to him, the governor has authorized the expansion of social register to accommodate the poorest of the poor. Mr. Bob emphasized that the various policies made by the state government are geared towards reducing multidimensional poverty in the state. The chairman Bulk Purchase Agency, Mr. Dan Akpan, in his remarks, lauded the state government for setting up the Bulk Purchase Agency. He gave the assurance that the 3 terms would be set up to monitor the program in the 3 senatorial districts of the state. Similarly, Commissioner for Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Afionofo, has said that a good number of women farmers have accessed loans from the government to boost their businesses. Dr. Afo also noted that the gesture has yielded increased production at the rural areas. She was speaking at the maiden edition of Arise Scorecard, hosted by the Ministry of Information. The commissioner noted that Akwa Ibom government has also constructed access roads to help in the evacuation of goods to the urban centers. Dr. Fo further explained that the state government is collaborating with the federal government and the World Bank to provide farm inputs, including fertilizers, to farmers at the grassroots. She encouraged farmers to organize themselves into groups in order to benefit from the government support and intervention. The immediate past Chief Judge of Akwa Ibom State, retired Justice Godwin Abraham, has charged husbands to love their wives as Christ loves the church. Justice Abraham gave the charge at the 2024 couple dinner of the Redeemed Christian Church of Union Mega Parish, Uyo, which was on the theme Reigniting Love in Marriage, avail couples the opportunity to reaffirm their marital vows.
In his exposition while dissecting marital issues, Justice Abraham said one of the cardinal concepts of Christianity is for husbands to love their wives just as Christ loves the church. Justice Abraham, a minister in the fold, said with the theme of the gathering, Reigniting Love in Marriage, it is important for couples to know that love is what binds marriages together.
So you love the Lord, you love yourself, and you love your neighbor. The love therefore becomes a very fundamental issue in Christianity. As a matter of fact, if you take out love, there is no Christianity. You can't say you are a Christian when you do not have this love embedded in you. You know, whether you are married or not married, the concept of love is universal, and it is that you should love one another.
In his remark, the Men's Fellowship President of the parish, Elder A.A. Emo, thanked God and the planning committee for making the occasion a reality, saying it will help to reignite love in marriages. Elder Emo advised couples to value each other, communicate regularly, correct each other with love, and above all, allow Jesus to be the chief cornerstone of their homes.
You see, marriage is not for perfect people. Marriage is for imperfect people. When they come together, provided they can forgive one another, the marriage will work. And in marriage, it is accepted there should be agreement and disagreement. There has to be disagreement and also agreement. But at the end of the day, there should be an agreement at the end. For a real healthy house, the two people, God said two of them should come out and live together. He said the man should leave his family and cleave to who? Cleave to the wife.
The pastor in charge of Province 1, Pastor Fidelis Umudieka, reminded couples that after many years in marriage, love and sometimes mutual bonding can be exhausted if not constantly renewed, charging couples to bring in innovations and spice up their love for each other. Pastor Umudieka prayed against divorce in marriages.
Always have Jesus in your home. Obey him. Whatsoever the Bible asks you to do, the husband, do it. Whatsoever the Bible asks you to do, the wife, do it.
In an interactive session, salient questions and answers to issues affecting marriages were discussed.
Getting married is a serious business. And as such, before you even do that, you know that the mentor, not something you walk in and you walk out.
High point of the occasion was the cutting of cake and feeding of couples, while the drama troupe of the church filled the audience with their performance. Some couples have this to say about the occasion.
That we actually be looking forward to, that we will be able to sit down together, ponder on mental issues, and actually start to move forward.
Juliet Richard, AKBC News.
In an unprecedented show of love and support, men of the AKBC TV chapel of the NUJ recently treated women of the chapel to brunch to celebrate the International Women's Day. The event held at the Inclusive Tilapia and Teens Lounge, 7 Ben Udo Street, Ewet Housing Estate. In attendance, the permanent edit and the DG AKBC, Mrs. Magdalene Udokan, among other guests. The report.
Commending the men of the AKBC TV chapel for celebrating the women, our James Edith said, "Women are rare gems and are valuable to society." He said, this year's theme for Women's Day celebration, Inspire Inclusion, is significant as it underscores the importance of directing resources, support, and attention towards women to expedite advancement in all aspects of society. The permanent secretary also spoke on the need for society to be intentional in training the boy child so that he can be at par with the 21st century girl child.
And men as a whole, like the men in AKBC, must rally around the woman for the woman to succeed. So women are special people. So I'm very glad to know that our men in AKBC have maintained this beautiful tradition to support our women. And let this support not just be superficial. Let this support not just be the kind of support we give to our daughters. We pretend we love them so much. But when you read the will, you discover the male children have everything. Things are changing. So I can only encourage us to support women.
The DG AKBC, Mrs. Magdalene Udokan, lauded the men of the AKBC TV chapel for the foresight, saying the move is unprecedented and should be emulated by all men of the AKBC family and spread across society. Mrs. Udokan encouraged the women to strive to be the best in all their endeavors, especially to set the pace for other women.
He appreciates the men. People are wonderful. The chairman made a statement that this has never happened. And true, I support that. It has never happened. I should go down to the Guinness Book of Records. That the newsroom men are real men. Men of value. And I see them as great, like their families that appreciate their women. I love men that give women a place in their hearts. And we have them here. Newsroom guys, I want to thank you once again. And I also want to appeal to you to extend it to other people next time.
The chairman of the chapel, Comrade Udaiko, thanked the men for the initiative, calling other chapels to emulate such show of love.
And lo and behold, these guys came together and we are here today. Please, I think the men in the nation so thank you ladies for turning up for your own party. something that has never happened before, because everybody in our circles that I've mentioned to are saying it's never happened before, and truly I'm happy that it's happening in the AKBC chapel. We have to show them how to get these things done, because it's not rocket science. So thank you for celebrating us. Thank you, ladies, for coming out. Thank you to our guests.
Mercy K, AKBC News.
That was indeed a beautiful treat by the men of the AKBC TV chapel to their ladies. Kudos to them. Sunday, April 14, 2024, made exactly 10 years after the abduction of 200 students from Government Girls Secondary School, Chibok, Borno State. Parents and relatives gathered at the multipurpose hall of the school to pray for the safe return of 92 girls unaccounted for. At the interfaith service, speakers expressed mixed reactions following the outcome of the drastic event that drew the world's attention with the hashtag Bring Back Our Girls. On April 14, 2014, 276 female students were abducted by Boko Haram terrorists and taken into the Sambisa forest. 10 years on, 179 of them have either escaped or have been released, with several of them returning to their families as mothers or widows of deceased Boko Haram fighters, while few return unmarried or without children. However, 92 of them remain unaccounted for. During the interfaith program, religious leaders and parents could not hold back their tears as various speakers recounted their ordeal and effort to get the girls freed. On that sad note, we conclude the news, but before we go, another look at stories that made the headlines. The Akwa Ibom State government has released additional 1.4 billion naira for the payment of gratuity to retired civil servants. The release of the additional 1.4 billion naira brings the total amount of gratuity paid so far by the Moino administration in 10 months to 16.1 billion naira. Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has called on state governments to checkmate the activities of scavengers, destruction of strategic infrastructure. We also brought you a report that the April 14, 2024, after the abduction of 276 students from Government Girls Secondary School, Chibok, Borno State, parents and relatives gathered at the multipurpose hall of the school to pray for the safe return of 92 girls unaccounted for. That's a package this morning. Thank you for your time and do have a blessed day. I am Margaret Bassi.